Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kara, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing my tips for how you can save money to purchase a home. A few weeks back I posted a video titled How Much Money You Need to Purchase a Home. If you haven't seen that one, I highly recommend watching it. I'll link it here for you, but this is kind of a part 2 to that video. So in that video, I go into much more detail about the costs involved with purchasing a home, and this one is focused on how you can actually save money. Also, really quickly, before I dive into the content, if you are not yet subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button below. This channel has been growing quite a bit this year, and I'm super excited to see where it goes throughout the rest of the year. Alright, let's dive right into the content. My first recommendation is to open a savings account. So a lot of times when people first start out, they'll open a checking account, but not necessarily a savings account. So if right now you only have a checking account, go to your bank and open up a savings account. Savings accounts can bring in a little bit of money, but I would say the yields right now are really low, so I'm not going to focus so much on that. So oftentimes your checking account is where you're going to be doing things like paying off your credit cards or utilities or rent, but your savings account is something that you're not really going to touch much. So one of the biggest benefits here is that you're not really going to be tempted to spend the money that's in your savings account because you're not going to see that balance when you're looking at your checking account. So something I would recommend doing, regardless of whether you're an employee or maybe you're self-employed and have your own business, whatever the case is for your career, I would set aside a certain percentage of your income and put that into your savings account. This way you're slowly saving over time. I would also go ahead and talk to a mortgage lender about how much money you do need to save for a house. So as I mentioned earlier, I do go into quite a bit of detail of everything that's involved with the purchase of a house and roughly how much money you'll need. But for a specific figure, I would recommend going to your lender and talking to them about this. Once you have that figure in mind, I would set a reasonable time frame for saving up that amount of money. Whether it's 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it is, have an idea in mind of when you want to reach that goal. Then you can break it down a step further and see how much money you need to save each month, and then you can have a better idea of the percentage of your income that you actually need to put away into savings. My next tip is to start budgeting, and this is a tip that will help you save money even faster. A tool that I use frequently is Mint, and I will leave a link to their website down in the description box. And also, if you prefer to use this on your phone, they do have an app for that if you prefer the mobile version. You may already be familiar with this tool, but ultimately what Mint does is hooks up to your different accounts so you can connect it to your various credit cards, your checking account, savings account, investment accounts. Wherever you store your money, you can hook it into Mint and it will track your spending and also your income. And one of the big benefits here is that you can categorize your spending into different sections. So maybe you have budgets for rent, utilities, groceries, other monthly expenses, luxuries, etc. I want to dive a little bit more into having a luxury budget. This is something that I consider to be a must if you are trying to save money. Luxury spending is something that you should pay particular attention to. So what do I mean by luxuries? Well, it's really anything that's considered not a necessity. So if you go and get coffee every morning from Starbucks, or maybe you eat out 3 times a week at a restaurant, or possibly you have a subscription to Amazon Prime or Netflix, etc. Maybe you go out and buy new clothes every week. Whatever it is that's not essential to your needs, you should put into your luxury category. And what I would highly recommend doing is placing a budget on this. What I do personally is I set a monthly budget for luxuries, and then I have it roll over into the next month. So in other words, let's say my luxury budget is $400 a month, and in February I actually spent $500. Well, that extra $100 where I went over budget is going to roll over into March. So in other words, my March budget for luxuries is going to be a bit smaller. It'll be $300. So maybe one month you decide to pay for a vacation. You know you're probably going to go over your luxury budget, and you just accept that for that month, but then you make sure to be a little bit better the following month. Ultimately, in the end, things should even out. but I highly recommend keeping up with your budgeting at least once a week. I would also recommend doing a deep dive into your expenses and looking at them one by one. Particularly focus on those monthly recurring expenses that kind of sneak in there. So things like Amazon Prime, Spotify, various phone apps that you pay for each month, Netflix, maybe a local car wash membership, whatever you have a subscription to. Make sure that you're actually using that subscription. And if you're not, go ahead and cancel it. My last tip is to invest some of your money. Now, there are a variety of ways to do that, and I will share some of them today, but just know that no matter what investment type you choose, you should also be putting a percentage of your monthly income into some sort of investment as well. This isn't quite as much of a necessity as savings and budgeting, but it is definitely something that will help you grow your money a lot quicker than if you were to not invest. If you are an employee for a company, maybe they offer a 401k, or maybe you're part of a Roth IRA. Alternatively, you can invest in the stock market, or even crypto. I don't want to go on too much of a tangent here, but if you've watched some of my other videos, you might have caught on to the fact that I am very, very big into crypto. It's something that I think is such a great investment, and I'll throw a little bit of my personal opinion in here. I know that a lot of people say crypto is super, super risky, but if you plan to be in it for 2, 3, 4 years, there is a very low chance that you're going to lose a bunch of money in crypto and a much greater chance of you gaining a ton of income. So no matter what investment avenue you decide to take, I would definitely recommend picking one and sticking with it for a little while. I'm not really going to provide any investment advice per se in this video, but if you are looking to do short-term trading, this is going to be much riskier than buying and holding a certain investment. So just keep that in mind while you're doing your research. Well, that about covers it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed this one, and this will wrap up this series. I'm not really sure if you can even call it a series since there were only 2 videos in it, but I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that you gained something out of it. If you learned something, definitely leave me a comment below and let me know what that was, and also what you want to see in my future videos. Also, subscribe if you are not already, and share this video with your family and friends. Well, that's it for today, guys. I will see you very soon in the next one.